Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show with Aditya, India's number one podcast, with India's number one host, Aditya, in association with Dusra.net, the number one website in sports, education, and entertainment. The T20 Championship got over on a high note with Mumbai Renegades beating the Chennai Stars by 1 run. A final that was eerily similar to the Australian T20 League, that is the Big Bash League that happened exactly 3 months ago. Two captains in Rohit Sharma and Aaron Finch, their careers have changed post this win. Finch, who had to take over the captaincy after Australia's regular cap, was suspended for 12 months. And can you imagine a final starting at 3 p.m. local time? That is exactly what happened in the Australian final. But irrespective of such technicalities, it will be interesting to note how Aaron Finch, now Australia's regular captain, leads his team into the World Cup. It was evident that the World Cup will be overshadowed by this tournament, and there are enough examples and glimpses of the same. The coverage in the media, the advertisements, and the pressure of these teams, which made the players, irrespective of which country they represent, were made to play each and every match, which resulted in Stain and Rabada being the casualties. Unlike football, club teams or state teams do not dominate the sport, though we are trying to create that kind of an atmosphere. But now that this tournament and the chapter is closed, our focus should be solely on the World Cup. And even here, it is a complicated situation. Unlike the Football World Cup last year, whose build up had created such a buzz, and now the Premier League and the Champions League are carrying the same hype, the Cricket World Cup might just get lost in the din. And also the fact that a majority has said that India's chances of winning the World Cup is nil. They have been written off even before the World Cup starts. The same attitude we gave to the hockey team. And just as the 1975 hockey team was glorified and glamorized time and time again during the entire Hockey World Cup, it is a possibility that the 83 World Cup will also get the same glorification. And comparisons will be made day in and day out till India plays its first match. The reasons that one will say that the 83 team was better is because they beat the, I quote, mighty West Indies. These individuals played in an era where there was no DRS, there were no rules on bouncers, helmets were a luxury. The fact that cricket was not played every day. Other reasons would include it wasn't a profession, it was a passion. The players were not getting so much of remuneration like the players get today. Sponsors were at a premium, as well as the whole 1983, the generation. Since TV was a new equipment, a new technology in those times, radio was the foremost source of news and especially commentary during the World Cup. Then we also have a habit of romanticizing the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and this will also be included in the many reasons why the 83 team triumphs the current team. For those who love jargons, the reason will include flat wickets, smaller boundaries, heavier bats. How the current all-rounder Hardik Pandya may never live up to the former all-rounder in Kapil Dev. But if we go into the archives, I am sure the term all-rounder didn't even exist when a certain Kapil Dev was playing. Nor did the media have enough maturity or arrogance to go into a deep seated psychology of the players and analyze each and every aspect. When the media didn't have any commercial benefits then, so their association, one would say, was only because they loved the sport. And now, because of the commercial interference, the love for any sport has diminished. So, if players are hitting sixes and that is becoming a joke, are we saying that the players who have the muscles to hit the balls are not good enough? That the fact that six hitting is becoming such a regular feature? Are we saying that switch hits and reverse sweeps is like the forbidden fruit? One of the reasons that one feels that India has no chance of winning the World Cup is the media's constant reiteration of the fact that the middle order is weak. Add to that England scoring over 350 to 400 runs every time. And the last time India played a series, they lost to 3-2 to Australia, unfortunately. And Australia started winning every match since then. They beat India 3-2. They also beat Pakistan 5-0. Even though preceding that India had beaten Australia in Australia 2-1 and New Zealand in New Zealand 4-1. We beat South Africa 5-1 in 2018, but our memory is short, and being fickle minded to be affected by what has been written makes us not have our own opinion. And also that the frequency of matches puts one off. Going by these facts, we did not deserve to win the 1983 World Cup, which I still think is a bit of luck and fluke. And going back into the past just for the sake of nostalgia is a huge mistake, a gaffe on our part. If one goes by the pattern of the previous two World Cups, where the home teams, the host teams, won the World Cup, that is India in 2011 and Australia in 2015, then this pattern would extend to England, and they have a deserving chance because they have worked hard over the past 4 years, shedding the tags of being a team who cannot succeed in the 50 and 20 over versions. Though they failed to win the 20 over World Cup in 2016, as well as also did not go all the way for the 2017 Champions Trophy, the Mini World Cup. But then the performances in the Champions Trophy are disregarded. This tournament, though being conducted for over 2 decades, never got the kind of attention the World Cup gets. And since the duration for this World Cup was only 2 weeks, as to the 45-day duration of the World Cup, these factors also affect one's analysis, as well as the reason one disregards or has an indifferent outlook to such performances. The same Australian team who a year ago was embroiled in the ball tampering incident is now one of the number one contenders for lifting the trophy and making it a record 6 titles. Suddenly, the team, which has been blessed with the return of Warner and Smith and the captaincy of Aaron Finch, which has grown and matured over the years, along with the overhyped Glenn Maxwell, along with Ashton Turner, Marcus Stoinis, is now being given the title of a dream team. And now Nathan Lyon, who was a liability as far as 50 over matches are concerned, has the label of one of the top spinners in the world, along with the emerging player in Adam Zampa. The fast bowling arsenal of this team includes Mitchell Stark, Nathan Coulter-Nile, who a year ago was not even good enough to be in the team, but he pipped Josh Hazelwood to be over there. Then we have the all-rounder in Patrick Cummins. And now they are the dream team. While India, despite having a decent squad, in fact, the second best team of all the teams, has a zero chance. Why? Because of Vijay Shankar, we have put the chances of the team winning at around 5%. I respectfully disagree with such analysis. The concern that we have of the flat wickets and the shorter boundaries is an illusion. Let's be smart about it and not put off any team. In fact, this is not the first time the Indian team has been put off. In the last 16 years, excepting the 2007 World Cup performance, each and every World Cup has had memorable moments. In 2003, we made it to the finals. In 2011, we won the World Cup. In 2015, we made it to the semi-finals. So I think that going by these performances, and even if we do not include past accolades in this, still let those who put off the team be answered, and the critics have their mouth taped when the team performs up to such a level that people are left in shock and awe. Till the World Cup starts, let's not overanalyze the situation but wait for the performances to happen, because looking at how we are pushing England to be the World Cup winners even before the tournament starts, and if we had the authority, we would have given the trophy to England even before they proved themselves on the stage. Yes, granted that they have performed well coming up to the stage, but World Cup is a different kettle of fish. Not only the Cricket World Cup, but the Football World Cup. Remember, when the Football World Cup started, people started putting all the eggs baskets in Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Argentina's basket, but it was France who shocked the world by winning the World Cup. Similarly, in the Hockey World Cup, we put our eggs in Australia's basket because they had performed stupendously up to that level. They were the defending champions, but it was Belgium who came across and shocked the entire planet, though the Hockey World Cup was not given the same hype as its football counterparts. So let's wait for things to happen and then we decide which team has a chance. We could be in for some surprises. It won't be just the Cricket World Cup that takes all the attention. We do have an important hockey tournament that will be taking place in a couple of weeks' time. This will be the first international tournament for the hockey team after the brickbats they received for their performances in the Hockey World Cup. Though in the interim they performed well in the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup and made it to the finals of this tournament and got themselves a silver medal. But as they say, there is always an opportunity for a fresh start, and this particular tournament is a fresh start. Though this one will again be overshadowed by its cricket counterpart, and one hopes that these tournaments are broadcasted. Every hockey tournament from this day forward will be looked from the context of the Olympics 2020 and the Hockey World Cup, which is due in 2022. And India's greatest hockey and cricket expert, Aditya, will be there to analyze both the tournaments. So before either of the tournament starts, let's not put the Indian team off and not count the chickens before they hatch. Hope you enjoyed this iconic episode on the 13th of May 2019, and the time by the studio clock was 11 am. I will be back next Monday to analyze more such events. This is Aditya, Asia's only cricket and hockey guru. See you next time at the same bad time and the same bad channel. So if you want to be a part of my show, please send your valuable suggestions and send your recordings on topics ranging from sports, education and entertainment on the email ID Aditya the writer at gmail.com. That is Aditya the writer at gmail.com. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please like and subscribe to my Facebook page and YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next episode.